Hey Super Cruisers, it's Kevin and Frank from Cruising with Wheels.
Hey guys.
Today we have another Q&A for all of you.
So we're back for another exciting Q&A, and let's get on to it.
I was going to let everybody know I called them all Super Cruisers, right?
Oh.
So how do they become a Super Cruiser?
Oh, okay. To be a Super Cruiser and be included at the end of our Thursday videos, all you have to do is send us a picture of yourself on a cruise.
And how do they send it?
Well, whether you're on the ship or in port, we want to see you enjoying yourself. Send that picture to our email address of cruisingwithwheels@rochester.rr.com.
And now that we got our shameless plug out of the way for this video, we'll get to the first question, right?
What is the first one?
The first question is, my husband is in a wheelchair. How do I navigate him and all the luggage when we arrive at the airport and or the port terminal?
Well, we definitely can speak to that one. But normally, and we'll just give you an idea of what we do really quick. And basically, we pull up to the airport entrance, whether we're going Southwest, Delta, whatever. And Kevin immediately just gets the luggage out of the back of the car and dumps it on the sidewalk.
He's lucky we're going to a cruise. I might just leave him there.
I know. And then he gets my wheelchair also out of the back, gets it ready, gets, make sure my foot supports are on, my seat cushion is there, and then he gets me out of the front seat of the car into the wheelchair. By then, he's grabbing the luggage, and I can slowly roll myself, at least, into the airport. He's got everything else. And that's where he kind of dumps me. And then he says, I'll be right back. And he hops in the car, and he goes, and you park in the long-term parking lot of the airport, and then the shuttle bus brings you back. Now, if you have, let's say, hopefully maybe family members dropping you off, that would be good.
Could be helpful. If you're going by yourself,
right,
that could be a little more difficult. It depends on, one of the things it depends on is your airport, because like at our airport, we don't have porters or trolleys or people to take your luggage. Like some of the bigger airports, they have people that'll actually, I think we can check our luggage outside.
Yes.
But we've never done that as an option.
Yeah, we haven't.
I'm not very trusting.
I know. We're not trusting souls. But again, we travel with, Kevin has the backpack. I have the tote bag. We have a 22-inch carry-on and a 28-inch large bag. And so once we're in the airport and he comes back, hopefully, fingers crossed, he just grabs the big checked baggage, and he goes to the counter, the airline ticket counter, and he kind of leaves me off to the side. I mean, I can see them. Now, he's got both our passports, and he gets to the ticket counter, and you check the bag, present the ID, and I can see them when they're talking, because he's like, he's got two passports, right, and boarding passes, and then inevitably the ticket agent for Delta or Southwest goes like this, and Kevin turns and points, and I'm sitting in my wheelchair by the wall going, 9 times out of 10, they won't make me come up to the counter. I can stay where I am in my wheelchair. And then that's it. The luggage is checked, he comes back, and we go rolling through TSA.
And it's the same thing at the port.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you pull up. We hand our luggage to the porter. We only keep Frank's tote bag and my backpack.
And the 22-inch carry-on.
And then we get online.
Right. And generally, if you need assistance, there are port terminal agents everywhere. Like every so many feet, they're everywhere. So the minute you walk in the door, they're going to be directing you. And if you're in a wheelchair or scooter, they're going to direct you to whatever line you need to get in, because most of the time they have a special check-in line for wheelchair and scooter people. Now, I remember when we were on I think it was one of the Carnival cruises, and we didn't have my wheelchair at the time. You had rented the wheelchair. And so the minute we got out of I think it was the cab.
Oh, yeah, they dumped them.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, the minute we got out of the cab.
They had another one.
You went to the people
Right.
at the port terminal and said, I need a wheelchair. And they immediately brought it out to the cab. And I got in. But that wheelchair only gets you from the terminal onto the ship. And that's it. That wheelchair goes back to the terminal.
They dump you right in the atrium.
Yeah, they dump you in the atrium. But Kevin had rented a wheelchair from Special Needs at Sea or Scoot Around or wherever he got it. And that was waiting in our cabin. And so he went up and got it and came back, and that was my wheelchair. And of course, after that, I have my own wheelchair that I travel with. But there are people always to help you. And again, the factors are, do you have help? Are there people traveling with you on the cruise? How much luggage did you bring in terms of what you can handle by yourself and can't? Because, Kevin can't handle all the luggage and push me at the same time. So, yeah, a lot of factors involved. But, again, people are there to help.
So that brings us to the next question, which is, what are the port terminals like? The waiting areas? Is there food and drinks? And when do they get to board?
Well, most of the cruise lines have boarding times. Is that accurate to say?
Well, they're moving to that, but not always.
But again, a lot of it is based on your status, right, with the cruise line.
Yeah, but you'll still be assigned a time.
Right, but
and you'll still be given a number. A lot of them are still doing the numbers. But they're trying to control people, the crowds and throngs of people. So when they say sign up for a boarding time when you're doing your e-docs, try to show up at that time.
Right.
Don't show up 3 hours earlier.
Yeah, they're really trying to stagger everybody, and I know everybody wants to get on the ship as soon as possible, but to have thousands of people descend into the terminal all at once is total crazy chaos.
And we found that all the terminals could work a little differently.
Yeah.
It's just dependent on the terminal and what they've decided that they're going to do and how they're going to handle it. But generally, it's just a big, large waiting area, like the airport.
Right.
If they've been to an airport.
In terms of what? Food and drink, you better pack some snacks.
Usually they have, well...
Is there vending machine? I don't venture out like you do.
So usually they will have water or fake juice there for you, but only if the cruise line does it. I know the last few times we've been on Carnival, there's been nothing. NCL usually puts something out. They also had coffee the last time, and Princess does that.
Right.
Holland America does hot chocolate and tea.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes.
Now, if you're
and there are a few vending machines.
Oh, okay.
But it depends on the terminal.
Right.
And sometimes you might not be able to get out of that waiting area to get to that to get to that vending machine because, like in Port Canaveral, the vending machine was downstairs. We had already passed it, gone through security and everything. So forget it. We're not eating.
Right. So hold on.
That's where Frank's snack bag comes in.
It behooves you to pack some snacks if you're going to, spend some time in the waiting area. And then again, if you're traveling like NCL The Haven or is it Royal Caribbean's
The Key.
The Key.
Is that what you're talking about?
Who has Yacht Club?
That's
MSC's Yacht Club.
MSC Yacht Club.
Again, these higher end suites and penthouses and ship within a ship kind of thing. They probably have their own special room we have been in, and they a lot of times have a spread of food and drink.
And in regards to when you can board, if you're concerned about getting on as soon as possible, you should probably try to purchase one of the early boarding plans, I'll call them.
Right.
I don't know what to call them.
Well, you're talking like Carnival's Faster to the Fun.
Faster to the Fun.
Royal Caribbean's The Key.
NCL has a new program now.
Right.
So
you got to pay for it.
You can pay.
Yeah, you can pay if that's what it takes to get you on that ship fast.
I don't see what the big deal is.
Well, we don't have that. We don't, because wheelchair, we have somewhat of a priority boarding, so we're really not that concerned. We're going to get on.
But still, even if we didn't, I still would be like, so what? I'm getting on there anyways. I know I'll be on there before 4 o'clock.
Not going to leave without me.
The next question is, I called to book my show reservations late. They're all booked up. Is there any recourse?
Oh, well, yeah, there kind of is. A lot of times, you can, when you board the ship, you can go, and we've been on, I remember one of the NCL cruises, they had a banquet table set up where they were taking reservations. Reservations for dinners and shows.
So I'll speak specifically to NCL because I know how NCL works. Any of their shows where they take reservations for ahead of time, they hold back a third of the seating.
Ah, okay.
So that
Good
people can be able to book it once you board. But I always say, if you haven't booked them, you better hustle your fanny as fast as possible to whatever deck you need to get those reservations.
As soon as you board the ship, get out of my way, get out of my way. Where's the table? Where do I go? I need to book.
And I say that with regards to shows. Vibe Beach Club is one of them. And also the go-karts, the laser tag.
That stuff
those
goes fast.
things, they go fast.
Yes.
Happy hour.
Right.
Prohibition.
Right, which you can't book from home. You have
the Cavern Club.
Right, there's certain things you cannot book from home. They're not available. You can only book once you're on the ship. So yeah, beeline it over.
So I would beeline it over, or if you're on a cruise line that has the self-serve kiosks, generally you can do it through there.
Right. Now, for also for dinners, if let's say you decide, like midweek, you decide, you know what, I should have tried to make a reservation at that specialty restaurant when we got on and I didn't, and now we're 3 days into the cruise. I really want to try it. Go to that restaurant. Get yourself on a waiting list.
Yeah. You might not get the time you want, but at least you can eat there.
But if you're flexible and you don't care about the dining time, and you're going to get that call that you can get into that restaurant, then do it. I mean, you've got nothing to lose.
The next question is about the casino. Can cruisers really win big money in the ship's casino?
Oh my God, did I put that on the list? Was that my question?
I don't know, but I will tell you that yes, cruisers can win big. I don't know, you probably don't remember, but we were sailing, what year were we sailing on the Carnival Conquest?
2014.
2014. So the Carnival Conquest was a premier casino cruise.
That's right.
Remember?
Yep.
And we got all those gifts sent to the
it was
room.
practically a free
and
cruise.
there were all these slot tournaments, and there was a poker tournament. And on that sailing, I don't think you remember, but someone won like $60,000 on a slot machine. Somebody won. We were on that sailing, and there was a progressive machine where they're all connected via internet on all the different ships.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Wow.
and somebody won on another ship while we were sailing. I think it was like $980,000.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that.
I would faint.
So you can win big, but just like every land-based casino,
That's true.
it is like a 1 in 10 million.
I mean, the most I've ever won was that one cruise. I won $600 playing on my little dancing pigs on the farm machine. And then other times, if I generally haven't won, but maybe once or twice, 100.
Well, it depends on what you bet, and we
that's
know,
true.
and we know people. I don't want to name any names, so don't name any names because I know I've told you about certain people.
Sorry, I have remembered no names.
But one of our fans won $5,000 on their last cruise.
Nice.
I think it was the first day.
Sweet.
And
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, and there were quite a bit of winners. I don't want to say their name again, but an individual I met that I was playing all night in the Escape Casino. I know you know who I mean. She was buying me drinks all night long, and she won pretty big at the
cool.
casino on the pennies. Yes.
Jealous.
So, yeah, you can win big. You can also lose big.
Yes.
So be careful. Play responsible.
Yes, always.
And always play with your card, because your card might get you free cruises or free drinks in the casino.
Right. Now,
on some of the
every
lines.
time we get on board a ship, we go to the Players Club.
And we get our
we
card.
get our card. And, yeah, so you can get some good perks with that.
Now, next on our list, and this has happened to Darlene. I love you, Darlene.
Darlene.
What happens if I lose my ship card?
Oopsies!
What do you gotta do?
I don't know where it is.
Well, what do you gotta do?
Well, you go, oh my God, and you get that terror, that fear for a moment. And then you go like this, all right, let me just go to guest services. Mm-hmm. I can always get another card.
Mm-hmm. There's always more toast.
There's always more. That's right. Go to guest services. It's not a big deal. You will get another card. Or if there's something wrong with your card.
Right, that's happened to me.
And it's happened, right. Your card is faulty. It is not opening up your cabin door. It is not working properly. Everything, ding, ding, dings, it's not working. Guest services will give you the cure. A new card.
The next question is, can I load my giant drink mug up with a cocktail drink and take it off with me in port?
Oh, somebody wants to have a good time in port. I'm not going to say no to that one.
You're really not supposed to do it, but I know people do it.
Yeah, I mean, I see people walk off the ship with their cups of coffee, and their bottles of, wait, hold on. Their bottles of water.
It's going to depend on the port, though, because some
in terms
ports,
of what they allow.
Some ports don't allow anything off the ship, and vice versa. When you get back on that ship, you better not have anything in there.
Right. If you think you're going to get on with an open bottle of something you're drinking.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to say, no, it's not happening. It's all about contamination. Fruits, vegetables, drinks, whatever. Normally things must be sealed and packaged.
Right.
Yeah.
The next question is, what happens when I book an excursion and I think it sucked and was a total ripoff? Is there any recourse or refund I can get?
Well, actually, we can kind of speak to that.
This happened to us.
We did, yeah, that did happen to us. And we
Carnival Conquest.
Yeah, it was Carnival Conquest. Again, that's the only thing I remember, 2014. And we went
We were in Grand Cayman,
yeah, it was
and
a bus
this was
tour.
a place you tendered.
Yes. It was one of the very few that I was able to tender in my wheelchair. And we got on it was a bus tour. The bus had a lift, thank you. But the driver, all he did was take us around the island to show us real estate that
he took us a few places.
That his cousin was selling. And it was kind of like the real estate tour.
He took us to all the places that were on the list to see, but we were supposed to stop there, get off, do things, but it never happened.
Here's the governor's mansion. He kept driving. Here's the blah, blah, blah. Hey, we didn't stop anywhere.
Well, we stopped at the rum cake place.
Oh, rum cake.
But
right.
that was like 4 minutes. We were supposed to have a half an hour there because he kept pulling over, like you said.
Yeah.
Saying, and that was the turtle farm, too.
Yeah.
We did the turtle farm on that one, which I loved that. That was great. And I think I was more satisfied that we were off that bus and we didn't have to listen to his bull crap anymore.
About selling real estate and giving his cousin the business. A lot of people were really upset, and several went to the excursion desk and complained.
And that was going to be what I was going to say, is if you've had a bad experience, and everybody on your tour has had a bad experience, there is, I don't know, safety in numbers? Strength in numbers.
Get together, head to the excursion desk, and be specific with your complaints. You can't just go there and say, I didn't like it. What?
It's subjective.
Right, exactly. It's subjective. Because I'd be like, well, what didn't you like? And then you got to be specific. He didn't stop here. We didn't see this. He kept talking about that, which had nothing to do with our tour, and it was a total ripoff. And we were all talking the same story, and they were like, and we all got refunds.
Right.
Remember, the cruise ship has nothing to do with the excursions in terms of booking them. It all comes from corporate. That's it. They vet the excursions,
Well,
they plan them, and it's the
and
poor
I have
people
to
at the
say-
excursion desk that have to deal with the fallout.
But I have to say that in our instance, there was like 20 buses that did our excursion. Okay? We were the only bad bus.
With that
The
driver.
other buses did the route like they were supposed to and got the tour like they were supposed to. So sometimes just because you read a bad review doesn't maybe necessarily mean
So
that
you're
the
saying-
whole
right,
group
so
is
you're
bad.
saying it could have been just the one out of the 6 buses.
Well, and it was.
Right.
In our instance, it was the only complaints
he-
they got was about our bus.
Does he think we all had money?
I have no idea. I have
These
no
people
idea.
all look rich. All right, I can sell them some real estate.
So moving on to the next question. I have food allergies. How do I know what's in the buffet food? Are the restaurants more controllable and regarding food ingredients?
Yeah,
The only way you're going to know is if you ask.
right.
But I will tell you that as the years go on in cruising, we've noticed that they have a majority of the lines have a gluten-free area. They'll have a vegetarian area. Everything is pretty much labeled with what the food
Sugar-free,
is.
gluten-free, right. They're getting very, very good in terms of accommodations with regards to allergies and things like that.
But if you have a food allergy,
Yeah.
anybody that's listening to me right now should be notifying the special needs department
Right.
of your specific allergy so it could be marked on your reservation. And you are your biggest advocate.
That's
so
true.
you are going to need to voice your concerns and
Right.
you are going to need to ask. And you might have to ask every time for every item, but it's for your safety.
Absolutely. If you're allergic to garlic and you're in the dining room having dinner, you better be, just because you filled out the special needs form and sent it in doesn't mean that your waiter,
Well, and it doesn't mean that they've decided to take every dish that has garlic
Right.
off the cruise
It's not gonna happen.
ship. It's not going to happen. But
So, yeah. Speak
advocate
up.
for yourself.
Yep. And make sure they understand. I am severely allergic to this, or this. You have to please make sure that this dish does not have it in. Because, even the waiters, it's like, do you know if this has, do they cook this with garlic? They might not know.
Right. They should know, though.
Yeah.
Next question is, what happens in the cruise line? What happens if the cruise line loses my luggage?
Oh,
You'll be naked.
Does that mean after I become hysterical?
Well, what happens?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Thankfully, we've never had our luggage lost.
Usually it doesn't happen.
It has. It has been late. Now you had a customer who their luggage got dumped in the sea,
Right.
And that's about as close to being lost in terms of compensation.
Well, this is where we say get trip insurance because it'll cover it. But no matter if you have trip insurance or you don't, you're going to have to go out and buy all new clothes, okay? And it's coming out of your pocket, and then you have to get reimbursed. And if you read your cruise contract,
Fine
you
print.
will know that the fine print already says that they are capped at like $50 or something like that. Just like the airlines. The airlines
We
are
are
capped
not
at...
responsible for lost or stolen items. Where have you heard that before?
So-
Yeah, there is a monetary cap. God forbid. And that's why we always say to have a carry-on. Like we always have, again, the backpack, the shoulder tote, and a 22-inch carry-on that we bring on board. God forbid the large 28-inch does not make it on the ship. Gets
Right.
tossed in the water, was set aside while they were reorganizing and restacking luggage, and it did not get on the trolley on the ship. You at least have something, and that's what we do. We divide our clothes up. So in that carry-on, it's a pair of pants, a pair of pants, a pair of shorts, a pair of shorts, the underwear, the socks. We have a little bit of everything just in case the big piece has been misplaced.
And the next question is, if my kids break anything on board the ship or in the shops, will I be charged for it?
Oh, like you break it, you own it? I don't know. I mean, I know that, if you're in like a department store, you're shopping, I mean, if your kid knocks something over, I mean, in my stores, we never held parents accountable. The kids broke something. Unless it was malicious.
I guess it
I
would
mean,
depend on the cruise line.
Yeah,
And it would depend on the circumstance.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference
Are you planning something?
There's a difference between an accident and vandalism. Definitely. But I mean, if your child or whoever has deliberately vandalized, and Lord knows they will know, because what? There are cameras everywhere. And I mean everywhere. And they will probably look at the footage. And if it looks like it's outright theft or vandalism or whatever, I'm guessing you're going to have a problem.
The next question is, what happens if I get detained by the local police in port? Will the cruise line assist me? If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing and you get detained, then it's on you. I mean, I've never heard of the cruise lines assisting you.
I know. I mean, like if you get off the ship,
what are they going to do?
And you're going into port, and and they're like, you're in a port city where the guards are there, and also the dogs, the sniffing dogs are checking for whatever, and the dog comes and sits in front of you like this. I think they're going to check your bags. You might have something that maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. But I don't think that the cruise line has anything to do with what's going on in the port city of that country.
No obligation to you.
No, that is kind of all on you.
That's another reason for getting travel insurance.
Yeah.
Because you have law,
legal
help and advice through most travel insurance. But the next question, and the final one, is how much in cabin door decorations can I bring on board or during my cruise? I like to decorate my cabin like I do at home. So, you decorate your cabin at home? You have a cabin at home?
No, I think they want to say that they want their cabin to feel like home. And all I can think of, this is what the first
Oh, that lady.
Yes, Titanic.
Well, no, I was thinking we know that lady.
Oh, the lady online who has the
Yes.
big decoration, that
And
elderly
she
woman who
brings flags from all
Yes.
the countries, and like you can't even see a wall.
Right, but her, and then I thought of Titanic and Rose when she was near 102, and they helicopter into the ship.
It's really not good to talk about the Titanic.
I know, but I'm just saying. And she gets off with all her luggage and
her steamer trunk.
The steamer trunks and all the luggage, and even her goldfish bowl. Like she brought, and all her picture frames, and they have this little cabin on that ship that they're diving out of, and she's setting up her tablecloths and her picture frames, and I thought, really?
You can bring whatever you want as long as you can carry it with you, and as long as it is allowed by the cruise line. So you will need to check the website of the cruise line to see. A lot of the cruise lines are getting away from allowing door decorations as a corporate
policy.
Corporate policy, but as we found, it depends on the ship.
That's true.
From ship to ship.
So NCL had announced like months ago they were doing away with door decorations, and yet
people are still doing it.
People are still doing it. People have said, "Oh, I sailed on this."
We do it.
Yeah, I sailed on this NCL cruise, and we were told right up front, absolutely no door decorations. And then someone else commented and said, "Oh, I just got off of this NCL ship, and everybody had their door decorated." So again, there's no consistency. It's obviously at this point, it's not something that's set in stone in every ship. But again, there's such a disconnect between corporate and the individual ships in terms of what is allowed. So, yeah.
So we want to remind everybody that we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat.
Yeah, please send more questions to our email address at cruisingwithwheels@rochester.rr.com, and you can be part of the next Q&A.
But until next time, we want to remind you to always
travel safe
and cruise often.